Ancient Mesopotamian deities Marduk. Marduk is the son of either Enkaya or Enlil. And there is a band from Scandinavian band. I don't know, it's from Sweden, somewhere out there, called Marduk, and they blaspheme against Jesus. Their music is about saying bad thing about Jesus. I don't know. So in this case, he's either Enlil or Enkaya son. That means Marduk is. And he's portrayed as a Mushushu, the dragon. Marduk rose from an obscure deity in the 3rd millennium BCE to become one of the most important gods and the head of the Mesopotamian pantheon in the 4th millennium. He was the patron god of the city of Babylon, where his temple tower, the ziggurat. I learned this in my primary school. Etmenenk temple, that is the foundation of the heavens and the earth, served as the model for the famous Tower of Babel in the 4th millennium. He was often referred to as Baal, the Akkadian word for Lord. Sometimes he's depicted as this like this, or a Mushushu. He's the one who fought against the dragon. This ugly semblant here. This one. Or this one. But actually, some would say he is a dragon. Yeah, of course they are. But they take a form of whatever they want to. Marduk is one of the most complex gods in ancient Mesopotamia, and the short contribution here cannot do justice to this important deity. A comprehensive monographic treatment of Marduk is still lacking, which excludes evidence from the 4th millennium BCE, who focuses on Akkadian prayers to Marduk. Marduk's origins and original functions are obscure. He is associated with incantations already in the old Babylonian period. Whether this was the reason for or result of a syncretism with the god Azaluhi is unclear. More recently, so he is linked with the god Azaluhi. More recently, Summerfield cautiously indicated that his function as a god of incantations may have been original to Marduk. A different suggestion holds that Marduk was deliberately syncretized with Azaluhi in order to give Marduk a strong association with the city of Eridu and the goddess Enkaya Iya. A powerful deity who did not belong to the original pantheon of Nippur. Enkaya is his father, right? At the same time, Marduk is mainly known as the patron god of the city of Babylon, and it has been suggested that Marduk's religious importance increased with the city's growing political influence. In the 4th millennium, Marduk is identified with Jupiter. One of the best known literary texts from ancient Mesopotamia describes Marduk's dramatic rise to power. Assyriologists refer to this composition by its ancient title Inuma Elis, Akkadian for Weno High for recent translations. It's often called the Babylonian Epic of Creation, which is rather a misnomer, as the main focus of the story is the elevation of Marduk to the head of the pantheon, for which the creation story is only a vehicle. In this narrative, the god Marduk battles the goddess Tiamat, the fairy ocean, often seen to represent a female principle, whereas Marduk stands for the male principle, coward. Marduk is victorious. Of course, he's a male. He's supposed to have a shame to say, hey, I fight a woman, a smaller woman. He's supposed to be ashamed of himself. Shame on him. This fat dragon kills Tiamat and creates the world from her body. In gratitude, the other gods then bestow 50 names upon Marduk and select him to be their head. The number 50 is significant because it was previously associated with the god Enlil, the former head of the pantheon, who is now replaced by Marduk. This replacement of Enlil is already foreshadowed in the prologue to the famous Code of Hammurabi, a collection of laws issued by Hammurabi, the most famous king of the first dynasty of Babylon. In the prologue, Hammurabi mentions that the gods Anu and Enlil determined for Marduk to receive the Enlilship, stewardship of all the people, and with this elevated him to the highest echelons of the Mesopotamian pantheon. Disgusting, family, misogynistic. It's just like I fight with a 10-year-old. Could a 10-year-old win? Surely not. Right? Can I fight with a 80-year-old? It's the same like this tranny here fight with a girl. He have no shame in his face. His ugly face there is. Another important literary text is of a different perspective on Marduk. The composition, one of the most intricate literary texts from ancient Mesopotamia, is often classified as wisdom literature and a ill-defined and problematic category of Akkadian literature. Various contributions and Assyriologists refer to this poem as Ludlul Balneki Nemekchi. I don't understand. Let me praise the Lord of wisdom, of the fourth line, or alternatively as the poem of the righteous sufferer. Also see the more recent but problematic edition by Anuis and Lindsay, the literary composition, which consists of 4 tablets of 120 lines each, begins with a 40-line hymnic praise of Marduk, in which his dual nature is described in complex poetic wording. Marduk's powerful, both good and evil. Oh my God, go and fight someone your size, sir. Go fight someone your size. Shame on you. So he might be behind all these trannies there who are fight with women, compete with women for swimming, compete with women in boxing. How come a man lose for a woman in boxing? He's bigger than her, taller than her. The woman short is slimmer. Is there a chance for her to win unless she have a gun? They are putting male tranny dress up as a female. Is nothing to do with a female. Is not a female at all. This is a male. If I dress up as a male, I can cut my hair short. I can dress up as a male. I'm still a female. I consider myself still a female. If a man put a wig, a long wig, or let his hair grow long, or he make up himself, he put boobs, whatever, he's still a male. He's still distilling testosterone. No matter what, he had to always go to the clinic to get estrogen, to overdo and counteract the effect of testosterone on his cell in blood. Male is male, female is female. You can create an image, but you cannot create the original thing and finish. You can create an image, yeah, alright, it's up to you, because you are being, this is a kind of neurose, is a neuroticism. This is a kind of neurose. Do you understand? You cannot fight nature. If I cut my hair, keep on growing. I cut my nails, keep on growing. If I die also before I decompose, still grow after 1 week. I cannot stop. It is nature. So what's so powerful about him? What's so good about him fight a female, Tiamat? Poor Tiamat. There were no male to fight this monster. Both good and he can go to hell. And so he can help humanity. He can help what lah? He can help what? And so he can help humanity. He can also destroy people. The story then launches it into a first-person narrative in which the hero tells us of his continued misfortunes. Good for you, for your face. Good for your face. Good for your face, coward. Intruders and invaders. It is in this element that has often been compared to the biblical story of Job. In the end, the sufferer is saved by Marduk. Oh my God! I think this is sufferer. There is nothing but the perpetrator acting as the victim. Maybe he is the sufferer who killed his wife, and then he thinks that he's a hero for killing his wife. Saved by Marduk and ends the poem by praising the God once more. In contrast to Elise and Numa, Elise, the poem of the righteous sufferer. Oh my gosh, I'm so touched. You that I'm not. Offer insights into personal relationships with Marduk. The highly complicated structure and unusual poetic language make this poem part of elite and learned discourse. Some scholars have described Marduk as a storm god or a god of vegetation. Everybody knows vegetation. The female is vegetation, the boy is vegetation. What that? They are just everywhere. They are infiltrated everywhere. There is no evidence for this assumption. Of course he isn't, other than highly problematical etymological speculation. Yes, just a speculation. Marduk was already syncretized with the god Asaluhi, and Tutu, the patron deity of the city of Borsippa, in the Old Babylonian period. Although in some Old Babylonian sources Asaluhi and Marduk, I don't know, I think I cannot learn Arabic, Arabic, or I know this one is Sumerian, whatever, but I cannot also because it's close to Arabic. I don't think that I could learn this language. I have a problem spelling it. Or still understood as separate deities. The syncretism with Asaluhi is mentioned as Sumerian literally letter to the goddess Ninisina, in which Asaluhi described the king of Babylon. Although the spelling of Marduk's name appears to affiliate him with the sun god Utu Samas, there is no evidence that he was ever considered to be the sun's god. The spell of Marduk's name appears to be affiliated with the sun god Utu Samas. There is no evidence that he was ever considered to be the sun's god sun. The sun's god sun. No, the sun's god. The sun's god is sun. The sun's god is. Some say Jesus also is the sun god. Is the solar serpent. So this is his son. I don't know, but some would say he is Enki son. On the contrary, tradition identifies Marduk as Enki. Yes, exactly. Son, clearly affiliating him with the pantheon of Eridu. Marduk's wife was the goddess Sarpanit-Tum. The god Nabu, who was first Marduk's minister, later became deified as his son and then became his co-regent at the helm of the Babylonian pantheon. Marduk's main cult place was the city of Babylon, which became the religious center of Mesopotamia during the 2nd and 4th millennia. Marduk's main temples were located in Babylon itself. The most famous was the Ziggurat at the Menenki temple, that is the foundation of the heavens and earth. His temple tower in Babylon, which serves as a model for the biblical Tower of Babel. The temple where Marduk was worshipped was called the Ezagil, or literally temple whose top is raised, or perhaps better, proudly honored temple. In addition, there was the Aktu house at Babylon, where the New Year's festival was celebrated. The Aktu house was located just outside the sacred district of Babylon. A ritual text dated to the Persian period describes how Inuma release was recited in front of Marduk's statue during the New Year festival, which was involved in a ritual slapping of the king. Marduk was also worshipped in other Babylonian cities such as Sippar, Nisip and Nippur. It's unclear whether Marduk is already attached in the early dynastic period, while some scholars have suggested that the divine name on early dynastic inscription should be read Amar. That should be read Amar. Amar in Latin means to love, and therefore cannot only tentatively be identified with Marduk. The Old Babylonian period offers more evidence for Marduk's growing popularity, which remains restricted to northern and middle Babylonia. The evidence for his cult in southern Babylonian is rather mingled. Because the Old Babylonian archives from the city of Babylon are still largely unpublished, catalogs of texts from Babylon, the beginning of Marduk's unprecedented rise to power in the capital of Hammurabi's empire, are still poorly understood and will have to wait further studies. In the second half of the 2nd millennium BCE, Marduk was openly invoked by rulers of the Kassite dynasty, who had made Babylon their capital, with the Elamite invasion of Babylonia, which ended the Kassite dynasty. The divine statue of Marduk was abducted to Elam, Iran, together with other Babylonian cultural goods. It was not until Nebuchadnezzar I, or first of the 2nd dynasty of Isin, that Marduk's statue could be retrieved and returned to Babylon in triumph. The Babylonian epic of creation was probably either composed or at least popularized during this period. Due to tensions between Assyria and Babylonia during the New Assyrian period, Marduk's cult in the city of Babylon often became the focus of Assyrian kings, both in positive and negative ways. It was not until the New Babylonian period that Babylon and Marduk were at their apex. Nebuchadnezzar II rebuilt the city of Babylon, and with it the sacred district of Babylon. Most of the renewed architecture that was excavated in Babylon, such as the famous Astar Gate, with the glazed brick reliefs showing the symbol animals of Astar and Marduk, dates to this period. The early iconograph Marduk appeared with lack of sources already in Old Babylonian period. The spade became Marduk's symbol. The animal that often represents Marduk is the Mushushu, the snake dragon, which is frequently represented in the glazed bricks relief from Babylon. There are very few anthropomorphic depictions of Marduk. Most of them can be found on cylinder seals. So that's it for now.